Welcome to Escalating Stories, where Christian dramas inspire, teach, and transform lives. Today's story is titled, When a Wife Chooses Her Family Over Her Husband. It is a powerful reminder that marriage is God's covenant, designed to thrive on unity, loyalty, and respect. When priorities are misplaced, love begins to fade, and the home suffers. Stay tuned, because this drama will not only move your heart but also open your eyes to the value of cherishing your marriage. Every marriage begins with promises of love, laughter, and forever. But when priorities are misplaced, when voices outside the home become louder than the voice within, love begins to fade.
Sarah, I thought tonight would be just the two of us. We hardly spent time together anymore, and now I see Helen walking in with her bags. You didn't even mention this to me beforehand. Don't you think I deserve to know who is coming into our home and staying under our roof?
David, please don't make a big deal out of this. Helen is my sister, my own flesh and blood. She needs me right now. She had some issues at her place and has nowhere else to go. You know family comes first. I couldn't just watch her suffer or leave her stranded. You should understand.
Sarah, I do understand that she is your sister, and I have no problem helping family when there is a genuine need. But what I don't understand is why you always make these decisions without me. This is supposed to be our home. You keep forgetting that we are married now, and every decision should be taken together, not one person imposing it on the other.
David, you're overreacting. Why do you make it sound like I am choosing my family over you? This is just Helen. She's harmless. She won't cause any trouble. Besides, isn't this what love and marriage is about? Standing by each other's family when they need us.
Sarah, you don't see what I see. It's not about Helen alone, it's about the pattern. Every time your family wants something, you give in without a second thought. You bring them here, you defend them even when they insult me, and you expect me to just accept it in silence. Don't you think my feelings matter? Don't you think your husband deserves some level of respect in his own home?
I'm sorry you feel that way, David, but Helen is staying. I won't send her away. She is my sister, and I won't abandon her just because you're uncomfortable. If you truly love me, you'll accept her.
When a spouse's voice is silenced in their own home, the seeds of division begin to grow.
You know, David, if you were a little more ambitious, maybe Sarah wouldn't have to stretch herself so much. She works so hard, yet she still has to manage with the little you provide. Honestly, if you were rich enough, things would be easier for her. She deserves better than all this constant struggle.
Helen, that's uncalled for. I have never disrespected you since you came into this house. I may not be the wealthiest man, but I do my best for Sarah, for our home, and for the future we are building together. To speak to me that way in my own house is deeply disrespectful. I will not accept being insulted under the roof I worked hard to provide.
David, please don't make this bigger than it is. Helen is only saying what I sometimes feel but don't say aloud. She is right, you should understand that I sacrifice a lot. I always try to manage, cut corners, and make ends meet. And sometimes it feels like you don't notice how heavy the burden is for me. Don't blame Helen for saying the truth.
Sarah. So this is what you think of me? That I am failing you? That all my effort, my hard work, my long nights, and my sacrifices mean nothing? Instead of defending me, your husband, you allow your sister to tear me down in this house. You echo her words instead of correcting her. Do you realize how much pain that causes me? A man's dignity matters, Sarah. Respect is the foundation of any marriage, and right now, I feel none of it.
Oh please, David. stop sounding like a victim. If you really cared about Sarah, you'd double your efforts and give her the life she deserves. Love is not just words, it's providing. If you can't handle the truth, that's your problem.
Sarah, I married you with love in my heart, believing we would stand together through every season, whether in plenty or in lack. But if your loyalty belongs to your family more than to me, then we are no longer walking as one. Think carefully about what you are allowing into this marriage.
Respect is the oil that keeps the wheel of marriage moving. Without it, friction will turn love into bitterness.
David, you look heavy, my brother. I've known you long enough to recognize when something is wrong. You've barely touched your coffee, and your eyes tell me there's a storm inside. Talk to me. What's going on at home? James, I don't even know where to begin. I feel like my wife is no longer mine. Ever since her family started staying with us, everything has changed. Decisions I thought we would make together are now made without me. Her sister insults me openly, questions my ability as a man, and instead of defending me, Sarah stands with her. My words carry no weight anymore in my own home. It feels as though I am only a visitor in the life I helped build. David, I understand your pain. What you describe is not just uncomfortable, it is dangerous. A home divided cannot stand. When a wife begins to place her family above her husband, she unknowingly tears apart the very foundation of her marriage. Brother, this is not the time to remain silent and allow bitterness to grow. This is the time to act with both wisdom and prayer. But what can I do, James? If I speak firmly, Sarah accuses me of being controlling. If I remain quiet, I feel like I am being trampled upon. I don't want to drive her further away, but I also cannot live like a stranger in my own house. I am torn between love and the need to protect my dignity. Tell me, where is the balance? The balance, David, is found in truth spoken with love. You cannot fight disrespect with silence, nor can you win your wife's heart by competing with her family. You must set boundaries, not in anger, but in clarity. Pray earnestly for her heart to turn back to your marriage, but also let her know that this is not only about you, it is about the survival of the covenant you made before God. If she cannot see that her loyalty belongs first to you, then this storm will only grow stronger. Do not give up on your marriage, but do not abandon your voice either. James, your words pierce me. I have been drowning in silence, thinking patience alone would solve this. But you're right, a home divided cannot stand. I must pray with greater faith, but I must also take my place as the head of my home. I only pray that Sarah will see reason before it is too late.
A friend's counsel can be a light in the midst of confusion. But even the best advice must be matched with courage to act.
So, James, do you know that David here still struggles to provide for Sarah the way a real man should? Honestly, I sometimes wonder if Sarah made the right choice marrying him. Any serious man would be giving his wife a better life by now, not this life of managing and scraping by. What kind of head of the house is that?
Helen, I have tolerated your words since you came here, but this is beyond acceptable. You may see me as nothing, but I know the sacrifices I make daily to provide for my wife and build our future. I may not have riches overflowing, but I work hard with integrity. To openly mock me in my own home, before my friend, is not just disrespectful to me, it is a disgrace to this household.
Oh, David, don't take it so seriously. Helen is only joking. Honestly, sometimes she says things in a way that sounds harsh, but she doesn't mean any harm. Don't mind him, Helen. You know David always gets too sensitive when these matters come up.
Sarah, this is no joke to me. You stood before God and vowed to honor me as your husband. Yet here you sit, laughing while your sister humiliates me. Instead of silencing her insults, you encourage her. Tell me, Sarah, what place do I hold in your heart if you can watch me be disrespected like this and call it a joke?
Oh please, David, stop acting like a king who deserves worship. Respect is earned, not demanded. If you were truly a strong man, Sarah wouldn't have to keep defending you. You should be grateful she even stands by you at all.
Helen, you have overstepped. No man deserves to be ridiculed in his own home. And Sarah, your silence and laughter in this moment speak louder than words. A wife's role is to build her home, not tear it down with careless defensive disrespect. I came here today to encourage my brother, but what I see breaks my heart. Marriage cannot survive when the wife sides with outsiders against her husband. Sarah, I am your husband, the man you promised to walk with through joy and pain, wealth and lack, peace and storms. But lately, I feel invisible to you. Why do you always take their side, even when it tears me down? I watched you laugh while your sister insulted me in front of my friend. Do you realize how humiliating that was for me? Do you realize how much it breaks my spirit to know that the woman I married no longer defends me but joins in my ridicule?
David, you're exaggerating again. You know Helen can be blunt, and yes, sometimes her words come out wrongly. But at the end of the day, she is my blood. My family has been with me since the day I was born. I cannot abandon them because of your pride. You knew who I was before we married, you knew how close I am to my family. Why act like this is new? You should learn to accept it. If you really love me, you will embrace my people the way I embrace you.
Sarah, love is not a competition between husband and family. When I married you, I accepted your family, but I never imagined they would have more influence over you than I do. I never thought you would let them sit in judgment over me. I work hard every day, I sacrifice my comfort to provide, yet in your eyes, I am never enough. Respect, Sarah, respect is all I ask. Is it too much to expect that my wife would stand with me when others mock me?
David, you keep turning this into disrespect, but that is not my intention. I will not push away my family. They have been there for me long before you came into the picture. Yes, you are my husband, but they are my blood. Don't put me in a position where I have to choose between you and them, because I will not abandon them.
And yet, Sarah, you don't see that by siding with them every time, you are already making a choice. Marriage means leaving father and mother and cleaving to one another. It means we become one flesh, not divided by outsiders. If you cannot give me that place in your heart, then what kind of marriage do we truly have?
When unity is replaced with division, and loyalty is torn between two worlds, the bond of marriage begins to wither. Love cannot thrive where trust and respect no longer live.
David, I've watched you carry this burden with so much patience, but the truth is, you cannot build a marriage alone. Marriage is a covenant, it takes two hearts working as one. A wife must choose her home above all else, or the foundation will continue to crack. Tell me, my brother, how long do you plan to keep enduring without action? James, I don't know anymore. I thought love could withstand anything. I thought if I kept quiet, if I endured, Sarah would eventually see my sacrifices and stand by me. But each day it gets worse. She laughs when they insult me. She dismisses my pain like it's nothing. Sometimes I wonder if she even sees me as her husband anymore, or just as someone who is there to tolerate her family. My heart feels heavy, James. Like I am fighting for a marriage that only I care about. David, you must understand something, marriage is sacred, but it is also fragile. God designed it so that a man and his wife become one flesh, leaving father and mother, cleaving to each other. If Sarah does not recognize that, then you are not just dealing with family interference, you are dealing with the heart that refuses to let go of old ties. Patience is good, but silence without boundaries can destroy a man. If you continue to endure without speaking truth, you will wake up one day empty, with nothing left to give. So what do I do, James? I don't want to be harsh. I don't want Sarah to see me as the enemy. But I also can't continue being humiliated in my own home. Every time I try to talk to her, she says her family is her blood and that I should just accept it. How do you fight against blood, James? How do you compete with that? You don't compete with it, David. You draw the line. A wife must understand that once she marries, her first loyalty belongs to her husband and to the home they build together. It doesn't mean abandoning her family, but it does mean choosing wisely where her allegiance lies. Sit Sarah down, not in anger, but with firmness. Tell her clearly that this marriage cannot survive if she continues to place her family above you. And above all, David, pray. Pray for God to open her eyes, because some changes can only happen when the heart is touched by the hand of God. You're right, James. I've been trying to build this marriage with patience alone, but I realize now that prayer and boundaries must go hand in hand. I cannot carry this marriage alone. Sarah must choose to walk with me, or we will lose everything we once promised each other. I only pray she realizes it before it's too late.
A wise friend speaks truth even when it hurts. For marriage to stand, unity must prevail, and unity requires a choice. David comes home to meet a noisy environment. His in-laws are throwing a party in his house without his consent.
What? Is that noise coming from house? What's going on there? Sarah. What is going on here? I left this house in the morning, quiet and peaceful, and now I return to find the crowd, loud music, a noise echoing through every wall. I've just spent the whole day working to keep this home running, and I come back to chaos. Can I at least rest in my own house? Or is even that too much to ask?
David, why do you always complain the moment you see my family enjoying themselves? These are my people, they are not strangers. Helen wanted to invite a few cousins over, and I agreed. It's just one evening of laughter and bonding. Must everything always be about you? Don't be selfish, David. This is my home too, and I should be free to welcome my family whenever I want.
Sarah, you call me selfish. I work myself to exhaustion every single day to provide for you, to provide for this very roof under which they laugh and eat and celebrate. I ask for one thing, for peace in my home, for rest after labor, and you call it selfish. Marriage is not about doing whatever you like without considering the other. This is our home, not a family lodge, not a community hall. I should be the first person you think about when you make decisions here, not the last.
David, you make it sound as though my family is a burden. They are my blood. I cannot turn them away just to make you comfortable. If they want to come, I will open the door for them. This is not just your house, it's mine too. If you cannot accept my people, then maybe you are the one who needs to adjust your thinking. Stop trying to cage me or cut me off from those I love.
Sarah. Every time you say they are my blood, you forget one truth. You and I are now one flesh. Your loyalty belongs here first. Not to Helen, not to cousins, not to noisy gatherings, but to this marriage. And yet, again and again, I watch you choose them over me, while I stand in the shadows of my own home. Tell me, Sarah, at what point will your husband become your priority?
When peace is no longer valued in the home, weariness becomes the companion of love. A husband longs for rest, but finds only rejection in the place meant to be his refuge.
Honestly, David, do you actually enjoy this kind of food every day? The rice is too soft, the stew has no spice, and the meat is so dry that it feels like I'm chewing leather. If I were you, I'd have complained long ago. But maybe you've gotten used to eating tasteless food, because you don't know better.
Helen, that is very insulting. This food was cooked with love and effort. You may not like it, but there is no need to mock or belittle. At least show some appreciation instead of constant criticism in my own house.
Oh, David, why are you always so sensitive? I'm only speaking the truth. If you could afford to hire a cook, maybe Sarah wouldn't have to struggle with this every day. Don't take everything so personally, it's just food. If a man wants respect at his table, he should at least make sure the table is worth respecting. Oh, David, please don't mind Helen. She always talks like this. She doesn't mean any harm. She's only joking, you know how she is.
Sarah, this is not a joke. Words carry weight. You sit here and watch your sister insult me over something as simple as food, and instead of correcting her, you laugh and excuse her behavior. Do you realize how that makes me feel? A husband should be honored in his own home, not mocked at his own table.
David, you take things too seriously. She's my sister, and she speaks her mind. That's just who she is. Why should I fight her because of small comments? You should try to be more understanding instead of getting offended at every little thing.
Sarah, it's not about small comments. It's about respect. If I cannot even have peace at my own dining table, if I am reduced to silence in my own home, because my wife would rather defend outsiders than defend me, then tell me, what kind of marriage do we have? Is this the partnership we promised each other on our wedding day? A husband mocked, a wife laughing, and a home filled with division? Sister Sarah, may I have a word with you? I speak not as a stranger but as your husband's friend, and more importantly, as a brother in Christ who desires peace in your home. You see, from the little I have observed and from the things David has shared with me in tears, I am deeply concerned. Marriage is not just about two people living under one roof, it is a covenant, a union that requires loyalty, sacrifice, and the proper placing of priorities.
Brother James, I respect you. But let me be honest with you, I don't see anything wrong in supporting my family. They are my blood. They raised me, stood by me, and sacrificed for me before I even met David. Now that I am married, should I suddenly pretend they don't matter? If my sister or mother comes to me for help, am I supposed to push them away just because I have a husband? That doesn't feel right to me.
Sarah, no one is asking you to abandon your family. The Bible never says you should hate or reject them. But it teaches us about order and balance. Genesis 2 verse 24 says, "For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." This principle applies to both man and woman. It means that your primary loyalty now is to your husband, just as his is to you. If you continue to side with your family against your husband, you are not cleaving to him, you are dividing the union God joined together.
But James, you make it sound as if I am betraying David just by standing with my family. These are people who depend on me. They need me. Sometimes David doesn't understand their struggles. He thinks they are interfering, but in reality, they are simply trying to be close. If I turn my back on them, how will I ever forgive myself?
Sarah, closeness should never come at the cost of dishonor to your husband. It is one thing to help your family when they are in need, but it is another thing entirely to give them permission to insult your husband, to undermine his authority in his own home, and to mock his efforts as a man. That is not love. That is disorder. And when you laugh with them or defend them instead of correcting them, you send a message to David that he is alone in his own marriage. Do you realize how much pain that causes him?
David can be too sensitive. Sometimes he takes their words too seriously. If I scold my family every time they speak their mind, it will look like I've chosen him over them. I'm caught in the middle, James. I love my husband, but I cannot just abandon the people who gave me life.
Sarah, you are not caught in the middle, you are called to choose rightly. Marriage is about leaving and cleaving. You are not abandoning your family when you put David first. You are obeying God's order. If you continue like this, one day you may look back and realize you have lost the very man who vowed to stand with you forever. Remember, Sister Sarah, a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Do not let misplaced loyalty destroy what God has given you.
Ah, look at him. The great David has finally returned from his big job. Tell me, brother-in-law, do they pay you enough to feed this household, or is it Sarah who keeps things afloat with her sacrifices? Even with your small job, you walk around as if you're some important man.
Helen, I have endured your insults in private, at the dining table, and even in my own bedroom through your influence on my wife. But today, you choose to disgrace me in front of neighbors, in front of people who respect me as a man. Do you not fear God? Do you not realize that you are mocking not just me, but the home that your sister and I vowed to build together? Sarah, will you allow this? Will you stand here, before witnesses, and let your sister strip me of dignity? Say something. Remind her that I am your husband, that this is my home, and that I deserve at least the respect of a man who works hard to keep food on the table.
David, you always take things too far. Helen talks too much, yes, but you also overreact to everything. Must you always make a scene? She is my sister, and she doesn't mean half of what she says. If you would just learn to ignore her words, peace would reign in this house. Why give her so much power over your emotions?
Ignore her words? Sarah, words can build or destroy. Every insult she throws chips away at the respect this community has for me, at the love I have fought to keep alive in this marriage. And each time you excuse her, you join her in tearing down the very foundation of our home. You think this is peace? No, this is humiliation. And I cannot carry it forever. Sarah, I have tried. I have tried with all the strength that is in me to be patient, to turn the other cheek, to endure what no man should endure in his own home. But tonight, I must speak plainly because my heart is at its breaking point. I cannot live like this anymore. I cannot continue to be mocked by your sister, disregarded by your family, and disrespected in my own house, while the one woman who vowed to love me chooses silence, or worse, laughter. Sarah, I am your husband. I am not a visitor here. I should not have to beg for dignity. So tonight, I tell you plainly, you must choose, your marriage, or this chaos.
David, you make it sound as if I am betraying you by loving my family. They are my blood. I cannot abandon them just because you feel insecure. You call it chaos, I call it loyalty. My sister may have a sharp tongue, but she is my sister. My family will always be part of my life, and no marriage vow can erase that. And if you call this a threat or an ultimatum, then I must tell you, don't threaten me. Because you know I will not bow to such pressure.
Sarah, this is not a threat. This is a cry from a wounded heart. When I married you, I knew I was marrying a woman with ties, with parents, with siblings, and I was ready to embrace them as my own. But what I never expected was that I would marry a woman who would rather stand with them against me than stand with me against the world. Do you not see? Every time you excuse their insults, every time you dismiss my pain, you are cutting deeper into the very bond that holds us together. A marriage cannot survive when the husband is treated as an outsider in his own home.
David, you exaggerate. You act as if I have turned my back on you. But I have not. I cook for you, I stay in this house, I care for you. Why then do you think my love is in question just because I stand by my family? Can't you understand that both you and they matter to me?
Love is not only in cooking or staying under the same roof. Love is in loyalty. Love is in defending each other, even when no one else will. Love is in saying, "This is my husband, respect him," instead of laughing while he is insulted. Sarah, I have endured enough to fill a book, but I am reaching the final chapter. I will not remain in a marriage where my voice is drowned, where my place is questioned, where my heart is trampled upon daily. I am giving you this last warning, not as a threat, but as a boundary. Either we fight together for this marriage, or I will walk away from this chaos. Sarah. I never imagined our story would reach this point. I stood before God and man, and I vowed to love you, to cherish you, and to fight for this marriage no matter the storm. And I have tried. I have prayed. I have endured humiliation, I have swallowed insults, I have walked with wounds in silence, all for the sake of preserving what we built. But now, I realize I am only one man fighting a war that was meant for two. And I cannot continue alone. Sarah, I never wanted this, but I can't keep living in a house that feels less like a home and more like a battlefield. Those are divorce papers.
David. You can't be serious. Divorce? After everything? After all we've been through? How can you sit there so calmly and tell me that you want to throw away our marriage? Is this how much I mean to you? That instead of finding another way, you would rather give up completely?
Give up? Sarah, do you think this is giving up? Do you think I sat down one morning and decided lightly that I wanted to end this marriage? No. This is not a decision made in haste. It is the result of years of being unheard, of being treated as second to your family, of crying out for your loyalty and receiving excuses instead. A man can bend, but when he bends too long, he breaks. And I am broken, Sarah. I have begged, I have warned, I have pleaded, but nothing has changed. What more is left for me to do? Must I die slowly in silence just to prove my love for you?
David, you don't understand. I was only trying to balance my love for you with my responsibility to my family. I never thought it meant I was betraying you. I never imagined it would come to this. Yes, I stood by my sister, yes, I supported my family, but I did it out of love, not to wound you. How can you end our marriage over words, over misunderstandings, over family ties? Is our love really so weak?
No, Sarah. Our love was strong. But love dies when it is starved. And I have been starving for your loyalty, starving for your defense, starving for the comfort of knowing that, at least in my own house, my wife is on my side. But each time, you chose them. And with every choice, a piece of our love died. This paper is not proof that I don't love you, it is proof that love cannot survive when only one heart is fighting to keep it alive.
David, please. Think again. Don't let your emotions push you into something irreversible. We can fix this. I can change. I didn't realize how much pain I was causing you. Please, don't make this decision out of anger. You said we vowed before God, then give me another chance. Don't end our story like this.
Sarah, I wanted you to change long before now. I gave warnings, I gave patience, I gave tears. But you refused to see until now, when the papers are on the table. Maybe it is too late. I am not acting out of anger, I am acting out of survival. Because if I remain here, in this cycle, I will lose not only my peace, but myself. I cannot continue. I cannot.
So, he finally did it? He actually gave you divorce papers? Honestly, Sarah, good riddance. That man was never good enough for you anyway. I kept telling you from the beginning, David is too small-minded, too sensitive, too weak to handle a strong family like ours. He always wanted you to cut us off, to pretend like we don't exist. Well, now he's set you free. You deserve better, someone who will let you live freely, someone who won't complain because your family is around. Sarah, maybe this is the best thing that could have happened to you. Helen. Do you even hear yourself? Do you realize what you are saying? You stand there smiling, mocking, as if this is a small matter. But this is my marriage. This is the man I vowed to spend my life with. I didn't walk down that aisle for a temporary arrangement, I promised forever. And now, forever is slipping away before my eyes. This isn't what I wanted. I never wanted it to end like this. Sarah, you're being dramatic. Look at you, crying as if David was some perfect man. Did he ever give you everything you deserved? Did he ever make you feel like a queen? You spent so much time defending him when he couldn't even defend himself from simple words. Why waste your tears over a man who couldn't handle a little criticism? Trust me, once this is over, you'll see that you were better off without him. You'll realize you've been living under the weight of his fragile ego all this time. No, Helen. You don't understand. You don't understand what it feels like to watch someone you love reach the point of giving up on you. David was not perfect, but he was mine. He was the man who prayed for me, who worked day and night to provide, even if it wasn't much. He was the one who looked at me with hope in his eyes on our wedding day, believing we would conquer the world together. And now he looks at me with pain, with disappointment, with finality. Don't you see? This is not victory. This is loss. And it is a loss that cuts deeper than anything I've ever felt. Sarah, you're making it sound as if you can't live without him. People survive divorces every day. You'll move on, you'll meet someone else. Why chain yourself to a man who couldn't even withstand a few arguments from his wife's family? If he wanted to go, let him go. Why waste your energy? Because, Helen, maybe this isn't just about him. Maybe it's about me. Maybe it's about how blind I've been, laughing at his pain, dismissing his pleas, siding with you instead of standing with him. Maybe it's about the home I tore apart with my own hands while convincing myself that I was only being loyal to my family. Don't you see? I thought I was balancing love, but I was destroying it. And now it's too late.
She thought she was gaining her family, but in defending them blindly, she lost the very home she vowed to build. The laughter that once filled these walls is gone. The warmth of companionship has turned cold. In chasing loyalty to those who could visit and leave at will, she forsook the one who had chosen to stay forever. And now, the cost of misplaced priorities lies before her: silence, emptiness, and regret.
David. How did we get here? I remember the day you slipped this ring on my finger, how you smiled at me with such hope, such certainty, as if I was your whole world. You told me I was your crown, your blessing, your answered prayer. And I believed we would always stand together. But I failed you. I laughed when I should have defended you. I excused when I should have corrected. I chose them when I should have chosen you. And now, all that's left is silence.
It is easy to take for granted the heart that chooses you every day. It is easy to believe love can withstand any neglect, any wound. But even the strongest heart grows weary when it is never valued. Sarah gave her loyalty to her blood, but forgot that marriage makes two people one flesh. In forgetting, she tore herself apart. And when the laughter faded, she found herself with nothing but shadows.
Brother James. I don't even know how to begin. My life feels like it has collapsed right before my eyes. I thought I was strong, I thought I was right, I thought I was only protecting my family. But now, the one person who vowed to love me, the man who made me his wife, the man I promised to honor and support, he has walked away from me. And it's not because he stopped loving me, but because I kept pushing him away. I kept making him feel like an outsider in his own home. I stood with everyone else but never with him. And now, the papers are on the table, the house is empty, and my heart feels like it is bleeding. Brother James, what should I do? I can't undo all the words I spoke, all the times I sided against him, all the times I laughed when he was insulted. I don't know how to fix what I have broken.
Sarah, my dear sister, I can see the pain written all over you, and I will not pretend it is a light thing. The Bible says in Genesis that a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. That cleaving is not just for the man, it is for the woman as well. Marriage requires both to forsake competing loyalties and to build a new family together. But you, Sarah, instead of cleaving to your husband, you clung to the voices of those who could only stay for a moment and leave when they pleased. You placed your husband in the position of a stranger in his own home, and you gave his rightful honor to outsiders. That wound cuts deeper than you can imagine. Yet, even in the midst of your mistake, there is still a path. Repentance, Sarah. Humility, Sarah. These are not just words we toss around in church, they are lifelines. You must first bow before God and acknowledge where you have failed. Do not excuse it, do not justify it, do not say, I only wanted to help my family. No, call it what it is, disrespect, misplaced loyalty, pride, blindness. Then, when your heart has bowed before God, you must go to your husband with humility. Not with arguments, not with self-defense, but with a broken spirit. Tell him, David, I was wrong. I dishonored you. I betrayed our covenant. Please, forgive me. It may be late, and he may not answer the way you hope, but humility is the first step to healing.
But James, what if he refuses me? What if he says it's too late? What if he has already closed his heart against me? I don't know if I could bear that rejection. I feel like I have already lost him.
My sister, forgiveness and restoration are not in your hands, they are in God's hands and in David's heart. What you must do is what is within your power: repent, confess, and humble yourself. Whether or not David chooses to return is between him and the Lord. But if you truly turn to God, even if the marriage is not restored the way you dream, God will restore you. He will heal your heart, He will teach you wisdom, and He will make you a testimony. Do not underestimate what God can do when humility opens the door.
Then I will humble myself, James. I will go to God first. I will beg Him to forgive me. And then, even if David refuses me, I will bow before Him and confess my wrongs. I only pray it is not too late.
Nothing is too broken for God, Sarah. But you must surrender and obey. Walk this road of humility, and let the Lord take control of the outcome. That is where your healing will begin.
Helen, sit down. We need to talk. And this time, I will not laugh it off, I will not brush it aside, and I will not allow you to take over my home with your careless words. I have reached a point where silence would be nothing less than foolishness. Sit. Well, this is new. What's with the fire in your voice, Sarah? Did David put you up to this before he left? Or are you suddenly realizing you can't do without him? No, Helen. This has nothing to do with David putting me up to anything. This has everything to do with me finally opening my eyes and seeing the truth that I was too blind and too stubborn to see before. Do you even realize what you've done to me, to my home, to my marriage? You mocked my husband at every turn. You belittled him, questioned his manhood, insulted his efforts, and laughed at his pain. And all the while, his wife, the one who vowed before God to love and honor him, I stood by your side, laughing with you, defending you, choosing you above him. Do you understand, Helen? It wasn't only your words that ruined my marriage. It was my weakness, my foolish loyalty to you. I handed you the knife, and you stabbed the very heart of my home. But no more. I will not be silent anymore. Oh, come on, Sarah. Don't be so dramatic. Marriage is not destroyed by a few jokes here and there. David was just too sensitive, too fragile to handle strong women like us. If he walked away, that's his problem, not mine. You're my sister, and I was only trying to remind you that you deserve better. No, Helen. Stop twisting it. Stop calling poison jokes. Stop calling destruction reminders. What you did was not sisterly love, it was manipulation, it was pride, it was cruelty. And I was foolish enough to drink your poison and call it sweet. I dishonored my husband because I allowed you to dictate how I should see him. I traded my vows for your approval. But do you know the bitter fruit it has yielded? I am alone, Helen. The house that once had laughter now has silence. The man who once trusted me now looks at me as a stranger. And for what? For the empty satisfaction of siding with you? No more. You will not speak about my husband again. You will not mock him in my presence. You will not plant seeds of disrespect in my heart again. I am done being blind. Sarah. You're really serious about this? After everything I've done for you, after all the times I stood with you when you needed me? You'll choose him over me now? Your blood? Yes, Helen. Because that's what I should have done from the very beginning. I should have chosen the covenant I made before God. I should have chosen the man who left his family to build a life with me. I should have chosen the one who bore my weakness patiently while I mocked him in return. Blood makes us relatives, but covenant makes us one flesh. I broke that covenant, and I am living with the consequences. But I will not break it further by continuing to stand with you in foolishness. If you truly love me as your sister, then you will respect my marriage and stay out of my home. But if you cannot, then understand this clearly, I will choose my husband, even if it means losing you. You ruined my marriage with your words, Helen, but I was the one who gave you the power. No more. From this day, I take it back. My home will no longer be your playground. This is the end of your interference. David. I didn't know if you would be here, but I had to try. I've been searching, not just for you, but for words that could somehow explain the storm inside me. But every time I open my mouth, I realize no words are enough. Still, I need to say this. I failed you. I failed us. I let pride blind me. I let my family's voice become louder than yours, louder than reason, louder than the vows I made before God. I mocked you when I should have honored you. I laughed when I should have defended you. And now, I stand here with nothing but regret. David, please. Forgive me.
Sarah. Do you know how many nights I lay awake, wondering what I had done to deserve the scorn in my own house? Do you know how many times I told myself, be patient, she will see, she will wake up, she will remember her vows? I gave you every part of me. My strength, my love, my patience, my respect. But each time, it was met with laughter and mockery, not from strangers, not from enemies, but from the very people you invited into our home. And you, the one person I needed most, stood against me. Do you know how that felt? To be a stranger in my own marriage? To be an outsider in my own home?
I know, David. I see it now with eyes wide open, but it's too late. I let foolishness lead me. I let Helen's voice replace my own wisdom. I thought defending my blood was love, but I see now it was betrayal. I betrayed you, the man who left everything to cleave to me. If I could turn back time, if I could rewrite every moment, I would. Please, David, give me another chance. Don't let our story end here. I can change. I will fight for us this time.
Sarah, I wish you had realized earlier. I wish these words had come when my heart was still strong enough to hope. But now, my strength is gone. My love, what was once alive and beating, has been worn thin by wounds that never healed. I begged, I warned, I cried in silence, but the answer was always the same, laughter at my pain. Do you know what it takes for a man to finally let go of the woman he once called his crown? It takes despair so deep it drowns every hope. That is where I was, Sarah. And now, I've moved on.
No, David, please don't say that. Don't say you've moved on. We made vows, remember? Through thick and thin, for better or for worse. I was blind, but now I see. I was proud, but now I am broken. Don't let my late awakening mean permanent loss. Please, give me a chance to rebuild what I destroyed.
Sarah. Love is built on trust, and trust once shattered is not easily rebuilt. I am not saying this with joy. I am saying it with the deepest pain a man can feel. My heart will always remember you, but it can no longer live with you. You chose them again and again, and only now, when you stand in the ruins, do you see the value of what was lost. Forgiveness I can give you, because God commands it, and because bitterness will destroy me if I don't. But reconciliation? That door has closed. I pray you learn from this, not just for me, but for the rest of your life. And I pray that one day, you will find peace.
Sometimes, apologies come too late. Love, once neglected, may never return the same. Sarah sought forgiveness, and though she found it, she could not undo the damage of misplaced loyalty. The lesson remains, cherish what God has given you before it slips away. Genesis 2 verse 24 – Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Marriage is a sacred covenant, not a casual arrangement. It was designed by God to thrive on unity, loyalty, and love. When a husband or wife allows outsiders, whether friends or family, to control the home, the very foundation of marriage begins to crumble. Cherish your marriage. Protect your vows. Do not wait until regret becomes your teacher. Some lessons, when learned too late, leave scars that cannot be erased. Love while you still have the chance. Respect while you still have the opportunity. Honor the one God has given you. And don't learn the hard way. A strong marriage is not built on two perfect people, but on two people who choose each other every day, above all others. Thank you for watching Eden Stories. Today's drama, when a wife chooses her family over her husband, has reminded us that marriage is a sacred covenant meant to be protected with unity, loyalty, and love. We hope this story has blessed and inspired you. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more life-changing stories.